There are moments in life when everything seems to stand still. When the road ahead looks empty, your prayers echo back in silence, and people who once promised to stand by you quietly walk away. You wonder if help will ever come, if anyone even sees the weight you're carrying. But hear me clearly today, God has already set help in motion. It's not coming from where you expect, and it won't arrive through those you think you can count on. God is sending you help that will surprise everyone, help that will silence every critic, confound every doubter, and lift you to a place only His power can take you. Sometimes God hides His help behind delay because He wants you to see that no one else deserves the glory. When He finally moves, the people who look down on you will look up in awe. The same ones who said, "It's over," will have to watch God rewrite your story. You see, God doesn't need permission from anyone to bless you. He doesn't need the approval of friends, family, or society to turn your situation around. When He decides to move, His power cuts through every barrier. The moment He speaks, things that seemed dead come back to life, doors that were sealed swing open, and hearts that were hardened toward you soften without explanation. That is the kind of help God sends, help that carries His signature, unmistakable and unstoppable. You may not realize it, but right now, in the quiet, unseen places, God is arranging circumstances in your favor. He's positioning people who don't even know your name yet, but are being stirred in their spirit to assist you. You've been fighting battles in silence, holding on when it would have been easier to give up. God saw it all. He saw the nights when you felt invisible, when you gave without thanks, when you served faithfully even though no one noticed. He counted every tear, every effort, every prayer. And now He is preparing to respond in a way that leaves no doubt it was Him. The help that's coming will not only meet your need, it will exceed it. It will arrive in a way that proves God's timing is never late. The delay you thought was a denial was actually preparation. God was teaching you to depend on Him, to anchor your faith not in people, but in His unchanging power. Because when you reach the point where all you have left is faith, you discover that faith was all you ever needed. You discover that God alone is enough. There are seasons when God allows you to walk through droughts just to show that He can bring water from a rock. He allows doors to close just to prove He can open when no man can shut. The help He sends is not random, it's divine. And when it arrives, you will know it's not luck, not coincidence, not human kindness. It's the deliberate hand of God reaching into your situation. The people who once pitied you will stand amazed. They'll say, "How did it happen?" And you'll be able to answer, "It was God." Don't lose heart because your help hasn't come yet. God works in the waiting. The help He sends is being crafted with precision. He doesn't send partial blessings or rushed solutions. His help arrives complete. The right people, the right timing, the right outcome. You may be tempted to think He's forgotten you, but God never forgets. His silence is not absence. His delay is not neglect. His plan is unfolding piece by piece behind the curtain of time. There's someone listening who feels like the walls are closing in. The finances have dried up, relationships are strained, and opportunities seem gone. You've prayed until your voice grew tired, and still the answer hasn't come. But hold on, God is not ignoring you. He's aligning something greater than what you asked for. You wanted relief, but God is planning restoration. You wanted an escape, but God is building endurance. You wanted someone to understand, but God is about to send someone to stand with you. You won't see it coming. That's how God works. He delights in surprising His children. The help He sends is often hidden in places that seem ordinary. It may come through a stranger's kindness, a sudden idea, a conversation that shifts everything. It might come through someone who once overlooked you. That's the beauty of divine intervention. God takes what the world calls impossible and uses it as the stage for his power. Think about how God moves. He called light out of darkness, brought order out of chaos, and formed life out of dust. So why do you think your situation is beyond his reach? If he can shape galaxies, he can shape your tomorrow. If he can turn deserts into rivers, he can turn your sorrow into strength. He doesn't send help that merely patches your wounds. He sends help that heals your soul and elevates your spirit. Right now, you may be standing at the edge of uncertainty, but don't mistake uncertainty for defeat. God often brings you to the end of your own strength so that you can discover the depth of His. That's when divine help appears. It doesn't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it comes as correction, redirection, or challenge. But behind it all is the hand of God guiding you towards something greater. The very problem you're facing may be the pathway to your miracle. People may have written you off. They may have said you've missed your chance. But God specializes in impossible situations. The help He sends doesn't consult the opinions of others. It moves past their disbelief. When God decides to bless you, even those who doubted, you will have to acknowledge His power. Some of the same people who turned their backs on you will one day say, "I don't know how they made it through." And you'll know it was God's help all along. Don't be surprised if your help comes in an unexpected form. God has a way of packaging miracles inside ordinary moments. A phone call you weren't expecting, a door that suddenly opens, a heart that changes overnight. His help doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it sneaks in quietly, but its impact is undeniable. And when it comes, you'll realize that every tear, every lonely night, every closed door was necessary. Because without the waiting, you wouldn't have the faith to handle what's about to happen. You see, God not only wants to help you, He wants to show you who He is through that help. He wants your story to be a testimony that others can see and say, if God did it for them, He can do it for me. That's why it takes time. That's why it feels impossible. Because when He moves, He's not just answering your prayer, He's building faith in everyone who witnesses your breakthrough. Some of you have been holding on to promises that seem forgotten. You've been patient, but the weight has tested every part of your faith. You've watched others receive their blessings while you remain in the shadows. But remember this, when God delays, He's not denying. He's preparing something that fits you perfectly. What He sends will not just fill your need, it will confirm your calling. It will remind you that God's promises never expire. The help that's coming will carry a divine weight. It will not only restore what was lost, but multiply it. When God helps, He doesn't just give back what was taken. He adds more than you imagined. And when He blesses, He does it in such a way that even your enemies can't deny it. They'll have to watch as God lifts you higher than they ever thought possible. Don't try to explain how it's going to happen. That's not your job. Your part is to trust, to stay faithful, to keep walking. God's part is to deliver. You may not see the full picture, but He does. While you're worrying about the outcome, He's already finished writing the story. He's working behind every scene, turning obstacles into opportunities and pain into purpose. You don't have to understand how. It's enough to know who is in control. You might be thinking, I've been disappointed too many times. But God never repeats failure. What didn't work before wasn't meant to, because He was reserving something better. The help He sends this time won't collapse under pressure. It will endure because it's built by His design. You've been refined through the struggle, strengthened through the silence, and now you're ready to receive. Some of the greatest blessings come when you least expect them. God watches how you respond when nothing seems to change. Do you keep trusting? Do you keep believing? Do you keep thanking Him in advance? Because gratitude in waiting is the seed for miracles in motion. The moment you stop complaining and start believing, the heavens start aligning. You may not see it yet, but the help is already on its way. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not abandoned. God has written your name on the help He's sending. It's custom-made, divinely appointed, and perfectly timed. The people who doubted you will soon see that what they counted as failure was the setup for God's favor. The same mouths that whispered against you will have to speak blessings over you, because God's hand will make it undeniable. This help isn't just for survival, it's for elevation. God doesn't simply rescue, He repositions. He doesn't just bring you out, He brings you up. And when He does, you'll understand why you had to go through the valley. The valley taught you dependence. The pain built your endurance. The waiting developed your faith. Every struggle prepared you to handle what's coming next. Think of it, God could have sent help earlier, but He chose to wait until the moment when it would make the greatest impact. He's not just answering your prayer, He's revealing His glory. That's why the help that's coming will surprise everyone. It's going to be bigger, brighter, and bolder than anything they expected. People who once pitied you will ask for your advice. Those who dismissed you will seek your wisdom. Because when God lifts you, He does it in a way that no one can ignore. But don't let pride creep in when that happens. Remember who brought you there. The same God who raises you can also humble you. The help He sends isn't meant to inflate your ego. It's meant to expand your faith. When the blessings arrive, keep your heart soft and your gratitude strong. Use your story to lift others, to remind them that God still answers prayers, still heals, still provides. Some of you are standing in the middle of your test right now. It feels endless, but it's almost over. God is about to turn your test into testimony. The help He sends will close the chapter of struggle and open the chapter of stability. You will look back and realize that the tears were not wasted. They watered the ground for your miracle. So keep believing. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Even when you can't see what's ahead, know that God is already there. He's arranging divine connections, stirring hearts, and opening opportunities. When it happens, it will happen suddenly. What took years to build will shift in a moment. That's how quickly God can move when it's time. There will be a moment when all the pieces come together, when everything makes sense. The help God sends will make people stop and say, only God could have done that. It will be a blessing so evident, so powerful, that it turns your pain into praise. That's the kind of help God sends, help that transforms not only your situation, but your entire outlook on life. So lift your head. Wipe your tears. Refuse to surrender to fear. God hasn't brought you this far to leave you empty. The story isn't over. The same God who carried you through storms is about to crown you with victory. You don't have to chase help. Help is chasing you. You don't have to plead with people. God has already spoken to hearts on your behalf. This is your turning point. The heavens have heard your cry, and the answer is on its way. The help will come in such a way that everyone will know it wasn't by your power or your connections. It was by the hand of God. Those who thought they had the final word will watch as God writes a new ending. The tables are turning. The tide is shifting. The help that's coming will restore your hope, renew your strength, and remind you that God never forgets His promises. Hold your faith steady. Stand firm. The next thing God does in your life will silence every doubt and lift your name higher than you imagined. You may have been through the fire, but you're coming out refined, radiant, and ready. The help that's on its way will be so complete, so undeniable that your only words will be, "Thank you, God." The world will see, and you will know God sent the help, and it arrived right on time. There are moments in life when God allows you to be surrounded by impossibilities, not because He wants you to suffer, but because He wants to reveal that His power has no limits. You may be standing in a place that feels like a dead end, but that's exactly where God loves to show His strength. When people have given up on you, when the doors are locked, and when even your own strength has failed, that's when His divine help begins to move. God doesn't need 1,000 ways to help you. He needs only one word, one command, one shift in the heavens to change everything in your life. What looks like an ending to you is often the beginning of His most remarkable intervention. Sometimes God delays your help so He can disconnect you from people who would take the credit for it. He waits until there's no one left to rely on but Him. He waits until your heart no longer depends on human support, until your faith no longer clings to people's promises. Because when He sends the help, He wants no confusion about who made it happen. That's why some doors stayed closed, why some relationships fell apart, and why certain opportunities passed you by. God was protecting your testimony. He was ensuring that when the help came, it would be undeniable that it was His hand at work, not man's favor. Many people think divine help is always gentle and comforting, but often it's disguised as disruption. God might shake up your life, not to destroy it, but to build something better. The storm you're facing could be the very wind carrying your help toward you. He may move people out of your life to make space for the ones He has chosen to bless you through. He may allow loss to make room for lasting gain. And though it hurts, you'll one day thank Him for every closed door, because those rejections were actually redirections toward divine rescue. The help that's coming will not just surprise others, it will surprise you. It will be greater than what you prayed for, faster than you expected, and more perfect than anything you could have arranged. When God helps, He helps completely. He restores what was lost, revives what seemed dead, and replenishes what ran dry. He doesn't just lift you out of trouble, He elevates you into a new season. The same people who questioned your worth will witness your breakthrough, and in that moment, they'll realize that no one can stop a person whom God has decided to help. God is not limited by time or circumstance. He can send help from directions you never thought possible. He can make someone halfway across the world think of you and be moved to assist you. He can use an enemy to bless you, a stranger to guide you, or a challenge to reveal your strength. His ways are not predictable because His wisdom is infinite. That's why you must trust His timing even when it confuses you. What you call delay, God calls preparation. What you see as waiting, He sees as refining. He's not ignoring you. He's making sure the foundation of your faith is strong enough to hold the weight of the blessing He's sending. There will come a moment when everything aligns, the people, the place, the purpose. And in that divine alignment, God's help will manifest like a sudden sunrise breaking through a long night. The very things that didn't make sense will come together in perfect order. Every disappointment will be revealed as part of His design, and you will say, if I hadn't gone through that pain, I wouldn't have found this promise. That's how God works. He transforms pain into purpose, waiting into wisdom, and emptiness into abundance. You may feel invisible now, but you are not unseen. You may feel forgotten, but you are not abandoned. Every prayer you've whispered has been recorded in heaven. Every act of faith has been noticed. God has not ignored your faithfulness. He's about to reward it in ways that will shock everyone who doubted you. The help He sends will carry divine proof. It will be so specific to your need, so perfectly timed, that no one will be able to deny that it was God who orchestrated it. When God sends help, it often begins quietly. You might not even recognize it at first. It could be a subtle opportunity, a gentle nudge in your spirit, a change in direction that feels uncomfortable but necessary. Don't resist it. Don't doubt it. The help you've been praying for may already be in motion. God often plants your miracle in ordinary soil. What seems small or insignificant could be the very key to your breakthrough. That's why you must stay alert in faith, because divine help doesn't always arrive with a trumpet sound. Sometimes it arrives in a whisper. There is no weakness in needing help. There is no shame in saying, "God, I can't do this alone." That's where real strength begins, when you stop trying to control everything and let God take over. The moment you surrender, heaven starts moving. When you trust God completely, you invite the supernatural into your natural. You open the door for Him to do what you cannot do. You stop striving and you start receiving. And that's when miracles begin to unfold effortlessly, because God's power flows best through humble hearts. You may not understand why help hasn't arrived yet, but remember this: God's help doesn't come when you demand it. It comes when you're ready for it. He knows the exact second when your faith has matured enough to handle what He's sending. If you got it too early, you might waste it. If you received it too easily, you might not value it. So He allows you to wait, not to punish you, but to prepare you. He's shaping your character, stretching your patience, and strengthening your resolve. And when the help comes, you'll be ready not only to receive it, but to protect it, nurture it, and honor it. God's help doesn't always remove the challenge. It empowers you to rise above it. Sometimes He strengthens your shoulders to carry what others would crumble under. He gives you peace in chaos, hope in despair, and direction in confusion. That itself is divine help. When you should have broken down but didn't, that was God's hand holding you. When you should have lost everything but somehow made it through, that was His mercy covering you. Every unseen protection, every quiet provision, every unexpected strength, that was help from heaven. And let me tell you, when God decides to bless you, it won't be subtle. It will be so undeniable that even those who opposed you will have to admit that His hand is on your life. The help that's coming will not only lift you, it will elevate your name, your purpose, and your destiny. People will wonder how you overcame what should have destroyed you. They'll see your peace and not understand how you still have hope. But you will know it's because God sent help that this world couldn't stop. You see, God's help is both a rescue and a revelation. He rescues you from what could have broken you and reveals to you what could have blessed you. Every time He steps in, He shows you more of His nature. His faithfulness, His timing, His compassion. The deeper your trouble, the greater the revelation of His power. That's why you should never despise the struggle. It's setting the stage for His glory to be seen. The help God sends will silence every false voice that said you were finished. It will overturn every lie, reverse every loss, and redeem every wrong. It will restore what time stole, rebuild what fear destroyed, and renew what doubt weakened. When it arrives, it won't just meet your need, it will exceed it so abundantly that others will find hope in your story. You will become living proof that God still answers prayers, still lifts the humble, and still honors faith. Even now, while you're listening, God is shifting something in the unseen. You can't feel it, but the help is moving closer. You can't see it, but the answer is forming. Don't let weariness blind you to what's coming. The moment you give up could be the moment before breakthrough. Keep believing. Keep expecting. Because faith that refuses to quit attracts miracles that refuse to delay. The people who laughed at your struggle will witness your restoration. Those who mocked your faith will be silenced by your testimony. God will not only bless you, He will vindicate you. He will make your breakthrough a public demonstration of His power. And you won't have to prove yourself to anyone. The results will speak for themselves. The hand of God will make what you endured worth it. There will be a day soon when you'll wake up and realize that the waiting is over. The burden will lift, the path will clear, and peace will fill your heart. You'll recognize that everything you went through was necessary to bring you to this moment. You'll see how the pieces fit, how the pain prepared you, and how God's help was perfectly timed. It will be so beautiful, so undeniable, that all you can do is stand in awe and whisper, "Only God could have done this." So don't let fear convince you that nothing's changing. Something is changing. Don't let silence convince you that nothing's moving. Everything is moving. God is working in the background, weaving your story into a masterpiece of deliverance. You may not see the full picture yet, but the help is coming, and it's closer than you think. And when it comes, it will not just surprise everyone, it will glorify God in a way no one can ignore. And when that day comes, when the miracle unfolds, when the help arrives, remember this: you are being blessed not just for yourself, but as a living message to others. God will use your testimony as a light for someone else lost in darkness. The same help He sends to you will flow through you. You will become a vessel of encouragement, a living sign that God never forgets His children. Because the help that surprised everyone in your life will inspire faith in the lives of countless others who see it and say, "If God could do it for them, He can do it for me." So as you stand here today, standing at the edge of what feels uncertain, I want you to lift your eyes higher. Look beyond what you can see. Look past the obstacles, the disappointments, and the doubts. Look toward the God who has never failed you. He brought you through storms you thought would drown you, through nights that seemed endless, through battles you didn't have the strength to fight. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing. That alone is proof that God has been helping you all along. And if He's carried you this far, He is not about to leave you now. There is a help coming that will remind you that God still moves mountains, still opens doors, still makes a way where there is none. But you must prepare your heart, clear out the fear, empty yourself of bitterness, jealousy, and pride. Create room within your spirit for what God is about to do. He will not pour His blessing into a heart that clings to doubt. He will not reveal His plan to a mind clouded with disbelief. Let faith rise inside you again. Not shallow faith that fades under pressure, but a faith that declares, "Even if I can't see it, I know God is working." This is your call to rise, to stop shrinking under the weight of circumstances and start standing in the strength of trust. God is not asking for perfection. He's asking for surrender. He's asking you to let go of trying to control everything and to hand Him the reins of your life. The moment you do, you'll sense a peace that defies logic, a courage that cannot be shaken, and a confidence that no voice can steal. Because when you place everything in God's hands, you discover that His hands are steady, secure, and mighty to save. So I challenge you now, walk closer to God, speak to Him in the quiet moments, and listen when He whispers back. Seek His presence more than people's approval. Trust His timing more than your own plans. Don't chase what's fading, chase what's eternal. Let your faith be louder than your fear, your gratitude greater than your complaints, your love stronger than your pain. For every step you take in faith, God will meet you with help that defies explanation. And when you walk out of this moment, walk as someone who knows that heaven has already spoken on your behalf. Walk as someone who understands that no matter how dark the path may seem, God's light will always find you. Walk as someone who believes that the same God who shaped the stars has shaped a future for you too. A future filled with promise, purpose, and peace. So lift your head, stand firm in your faith, and let your heart echo this truth. I may not know how, but I know who. I may not see the way, but I trust the one who makes the way. I may not feel strong, but I believe in the strength that never fails. God is with you, and help is not just coming, it is already written into your destiny. Go forward in faith. Walk in quiet confidence. Let your life become a living testimony that when everything else fails, God remains faithful. And when that help arrives, and it will, you will know it was not chance, not coincidence, but the deliberate mercy of God who never forgot your name. May your heart rest in that truth forever, and may your soul never forget God is sending you help that will surprise everyone.